Hey, what's up, guys? Lane Bolin here with day 234 of the Contractor Charity Challenge, where I was challenged to build a $2 million general contractor in less than 1 year, starting with $100 and a truck. Just a quick update. We have 1.4 million sitting in build right now and 2.7 million sitting in design. This past 2 weeks, I identified about a $600,000 shortfall, and we signed another $900,000 2,000 square foot or 3,000 square foot whole home remodel that's also with a 2,000 square foot addition, and then another $1,000 or 1,000 square foot addition. So about 1.4 million was put into design. So that's why we have 2.7 million design. But here's the problem. Based on production rates, I think we're still about 200 grand. We're going to be 200 grand short come January 22nd. So the way I'm going to get over that is by expanding the Handyman, which is in Bellevue right now, and it's in, 4 techs. We just sold 100 grand in the last 2 weeks. So we're going to start working at $100,000 a pay. We're not going to grow it any more than that. What I will do is open up a shop in Tacoma and another in Everett, and I'll explain the strategy on that in just a second. So guys, what's at stake here? If I lose, 200 grand goes to Operation Underground Railroad. If I win this challenge, O.U.R gets 10% of the companies being built. So guys, again, tons of good news, but I am going to need to really push design and also double our subcontractor bullpen in order to get $2 million built by January 22nd, which is cool. Last 2 weeks, again, we signed 2 massive design contracts. One was a realtor referral for the $900,000 job, and then another was a design referral that came out of the social capital system. So that lead initially came through our calculator, and then we couldn't get in front of the homeowner, so I kicked that lead over to a designer about 5 months ago, and here we are with a $900,000 deal. So anyway, the other big surprise was the last 2 weeks. The Handyman sold over 100 grand. Crazy. About 77,000 of that came from our custom home builder contacts referring us the bathrooms and remodel work that they don't want to do. And what we did is we monopolized their referrals by coming to them and saying, hey, we'll do your punch list and we'll do your warranty work at cost if you give us an exclusive on your breadcrumbs. And so breadcrumbs from a custom home builder is pretty big for a handyman. So the other 23 grand in the last 2 weeks came out of Google local services. We're spending about $40 a phone call. 3 out of 4 of those phone calls are converted into a $69 diagnostic deposit. 90% of those diagnostic deposits end up signing a quote with us with an average ticket somewhere between $900 and $1,000 at about a 60% margin. So that beats a kick in the head. So our evolving strategy here is to hire like a madman. We just hired 2 handyman techs yesterday. We're going to hire another 2 this week. I need to scramble to push design through the pipeline. I need to triple our subcontractor bench. Right now, I'm sitting in a Courtyard Marriott in Nashville, Kentucky, or Nashville, Tennessee. About to go to Kentucky for a week with my good friend John Utter to work on his business. By the way, he went from like a $650,000 contractor to a $2 million contractor, and based on his backlog, we're going to chase $5 million next year. But that's beside the point. After that, I'm heading to back to Seattle, to stabilize Bellevue. What do I need to do is I need to hire and train a CSR. I need to implement and ensure that these new handyman hires understand our culture and are executing our daily processes together, or processes every day the same way. And who knows how long it's going to take. But next month, I'll start the Tacoma office, and then the month after that, I'll start the Everett office. And this is ridiculous, guys. Like, you don't need a $100,000 Sprinter van and $70,000 worth of tools to get this going. All I need is a $900 a month WeWork office so that I can get approved for Google My Business and Google Local Services in like the central business district of each target town. And then I already know I need to spend $750 through Google Local Services every 2 weeks to support a full-time handyman who in turn is going to build me. It's going to build me probably maybe 12, between 9 and 12 grand at a 50-60% margin in that 2 week period. To have $1 million handyman, that's for tax, we need to spend $3,000 every 2 weeks. So $3,000 of permanent working capital. If you can't scratch together $3,000 and you're not good enough in business in the handyman sector where you do the work the same day and get paid the work the same day. Like, again, if you can't manage that and scrape together $3,000, like, I don't think entrepreneurship is for you. I think you need to work for somebody who knows what they're doing to improve your skill set and then go back to being a business owner. I'm just being very straight with you. So that's our main strategy. Our current cohort and build is 1.2 with change orders. It's going to be closer to 1.4. We have $71,061.09 in working capital as a result of deposits and the crazy amount of work we've been doing in handyman and the build contracts that started a while back. Since January 22nd, we've developed 9 realtor relationships, 27 designer relationships. We have bought 132 leads through our calculator, spending $8,845.35. Where we got that money? From our handyman. How did we get that money for handyman? Because starting with just $100. Well, go back and review what we've done. But the answer is I sold the truck. I used that money to invest in ads, got the handyman going, used that cash flow, developed the design build business, focused on design build to get my first cohort into build, which was like 2 months late. And then return focus back to handyman in order to shore up the cash gap so that we can walk out of this challenge with a W. But yeah, so 132 calculator leads, 11 referrals from those 36 relationships, 40 site visits, 35 proposals, 24 of which came from the calculator, 11 design contracts, 7 build contracts. I'm not advertising design build right now. Because we have 2.7 million in design and 1.4 million in build. We're only advertising handyman. What'll happen is if I can get $1 million kicked out of design into build in the next 30 days, I'll start advertising design build again just to create the next cohort. But yeah, what day is it? It's day 234. So I have like 131 days left. Okie dokie. So those are our stats. I'm going to just show you really quick, if you don't mind. I'm going to present my screen here. I'm so sorry. And so, but yeah, let's go to entire screen. I'll share it, and I share it. There we go. So yeah, I pulled up our ad account. Where is it? Oh yeah. I pulled up our ad account, and from January 22nd, we've spent, again, $8,845.35, averaging $67.01 through our calculator, producing 132 leads. So to say that another way, with our 2.7 sitting in design, plus our 1.4 that's currently in build. And again, we started with $100 in a truck. But again, and right now we're performing at about a 35% gross margin. We've tried to sell at 40, but with slippage and discounts, Yeah. So what I'm trying to show you is 1.4 million of gross profit divided by $8,845. That's $162 to one return. 162 to one return. Guys, that's better than dealing drugs without the risk of jail time. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't want to mislead you. Every contractor that sees this is like, oh shoot, I just got to spend this money and then magically the business is going to fall in my lap. No, it's not. Um, that your ads merely liquidate the word of mouth and reputation you have out in the community. So if you're a brand new business like we are, you have to mechanically manufacture that word of mouth through influencers like realtors and designers and architects, because what ends up happening is they'll recommend us. Maybe that person doesn't call right away, but eventually the algorithm detects that they're in market for a remodel and shows them our ad. Right, that's how that works. And then I turn around and recycle those $62 leads, the ones that we don't get in front of, which for every 6 leads, I might get in front of one person. We're averaging 5.5 right now. But for those other 4 to 5, instead of just wasting that money, I flick those leads over to a designer or an architect as a referral, and they resurrect a percentage of those deals, and it gets referred back to me when they're ready to build. Win, win, win. But again, guys, it's like there are no silver bullets. You can't just spend money and expect to have this kind of performance. Like, the system has to be operated together. Sweat and blood. You need them both to get this going. Blood being money. On the handyman side, our strategy right now, here, I'll take the calculator off. Our strategy right now, dun, 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 dun. Let me stop sharing. Yeah. Our strategy right now is threefold. Number one, we dropped every gross profit dollar we had from Handyman 3 months ago into SEO. And now we're ranking for all the important contractor keywords for Bellevue, Renton, Sammamish, Redmond, I think I said, Kirkland, Mercer Island, Bellevue, Kent, basically the important parts of King County. And it's their new rankings, so they drastically bounce back and forth, and it'll settle down on the first page. But I've seen us rank as high as #1 for a keyword like Bellevue handyman, and you can tell because the phone goes nuts when we have those rankings, and then it goes crickets when we don't. So we have our SEO strategy, we have our Google local services strategy, and then the referral campaign we use for handyman is we target super high-end custom builders and work a deal where we'll do their punch list and their warranty work at cost if they'll refer us their breadcrumbs, right? Like their remodel leads, their bathroom leads, the additions they don't want to screw with. And that's what worked out super, super well for us. So that's what's powering the handyman. So next week I'm going to hire a CSR. Or I'm sorry, next week I'll hire another tech. The week after I'll hire a CSR, get everybody trained and like good and happy. October, I'm going to open up the Tacoma office. November, I'm going to open up the Everett office. I want Tacoma to be doing, between Tacoma and Everett, they need to be doing 50 grand each by Christmas. And if we can do that, we'll have a chance of closing that $200,000 cash gap. So that we can hit our 2 million. But again, this is construction. Anything can happen. So things can fuck up in design build and slow down. Who knows? Like weather. I mean, we're in the Pacific Northwest. We could, weather might screw us. But yeah. So that's the strategy right there. It's a race to the finish. This is by no means in the bag, even though we have like 1.4 sitting in build, starting with just $100 in a truck back in January or late January. And 2.7 sitting in design. That's crazy, but it's not enough. So we're gonna make it enough through our handyman strategy, cash flow. Right now sitting in Nashville, heading out to Kentucky. Going to work with Strong Tower, and then back to Seattle to get some work done. But yeah, guys, this has been a really hard exercise, really hard exercise. But yeah, if you want every SOP and best practice I've used in the challenge so far, in the show notes below, you'll see a link to Contractor College. You can get them for free. And then on top of that, at the end of October, November, December, and then January, I will boot up our QuickBooks and then take you through our P&L so you can see the real honest to God numbers. But yeah, fingers crossed we pull this off. All right, guys, be good. I'll see ya.